Aaron Rodgers spoke today to the New York media. And this press conference, a little different feel to it than, the feel-good. Remember when his Achilles was intact and everybody thought they had a chance to actually make the playoffs this year? And he said something dismaying, to be straight up with you, about whatever's going on in that building that isn't about winning. Listen to this soundbite.
Anything in this building that we're doing individually or collectively that has nothing to do with real winning needs to be assessed. Everything that we do has to have a purpose too. When you step in the building, there's intentionality with everything that you do. And it's not a half the time thing, it's not a sometimes thing, it's not a most of the time thing, it's an every time thing. If you want to be a winning organization, you have to put yourself in position to win championships and be competitive. Everything that you do matters, and the bull that has nothing to do with winning needs to get out of the building.
I'm wondering what he's referring to right there. I think what he might be referring to, if I had a guess, was, remember Zach Wilson got out that he was considering not accepting the starting role again, which him entering a concussion protocol that lasted a month, even though, as I pointed out, I think that lasted a month because they were doing him a solid because they'd already, my guess is they already told him he can leave, and they want to make sure he's healthy when leaving.
Right.
That's the least you can do is to make sure that he can find the job quickly that you're allowing him to go find, and I'm sure he's happy to go find elsewhere. But that came out of the building, and I think that pissed Rodgers off, and I don't blame him. I don't know what else he might else be referring to. And I just, because I always shoot straight here, his appearances on Pat's show don't strike me as have anything to do with winning, except winning whatever culture wars he cares to wage on ESPN's air. And that has nothing to do with winning for the Jets, and he might sit there and think whatever he's saying on Pat's show that's outside of the realm of football about the Epstein list and Jimmy Kimmel and all that stuff. Did he address that today too? Somebody asked him about that?
Someone asked him about it. He said he's going to talk about it. Tune into the show tomorrow.
Well, I mean, that strikes me as having nothing to do with winning, but I bet you I'm sure he's thrilled that I'm ascribing thoughts in his head into this microphone. I'm sure he thinks that has nothing to do with preventing winning. He's just being himself and his dude. But he honestly, there's a large part of the Jets fan base that just doesn't want to hear that stuff, and it's like I'm more interested in hearing from Aaron Rodgers. Hey, man, you've been part of championship teams and championship cultures that clearly the Packers have, because everything that Gutekunst has been doing, pressing buttons, they're in the playoffs again with a kid that looks to be just as ready to roll as Rodgers did when he first took the gig from Favre. And just like Favre when he took the gig from the Magic Man. So if there's any of that secret sauce that Rodgers knows about from inside a building about what it takes to have a winning culture that he feels the Jets don't have, I'm all ears. But the Epstein list, I don't care. That has nothing to do with my affiliations or my thoughts or whatever, because that sounds like that has zero to do with winning too. And all it is it's now he's being asked a question in a press conference like this about that. And he's like, tune into something that has nothing to do with winning on ESPN.
Yeah, he's talking about the BS. He brought the BS to New York.
Well, again, he didn't show up with I'm going to go there and have my Achilles blow up in day 5. Now, if the moves that Joe Douglas didn't make because they didn't want to inflame Rodgers, or they thought Rodgers was coming back. A lot of people made fun of the fact that the Jets players voted him the most inspirational player. Again, we're not in the building. We don't see what he's doing. Again, he was like being the Sherpa to Mekhi Becton before his Achilles blew up. So he has his teammates at hello, and they have him as well, having their back. That's clear. They wouldn't have voted him most inspirational if they didn't feel that way about him, which is great for next year. And I love Robert Saleh saying, yeah, the coordinators are staying the same as long as they don't get a head coaching job. I'm assuming he's meaning his defensive coordinator, not to be disrespectful. But, you know, everything has been made to make sure they're going to win with him next year. All season long, as I've watched Flacco light it up and Carson Wentz. I mean, I was wrong. I was like, don't sign Carson Wentz and don't sign Flacco. What an idiot. Honestly, I'm raising my hand. So I'm all ears about what Rodgers has to say about winning cultures in that building because he's been part of them for a long-ass time, and he's been the leader in those environments. The leader and championship quarterback. That's what I want out of him. But if he doesn't think that what he's saying outside of the realm of football elsewhere is he's saying about you got to be that way all the time. If he doesn't think that that's not damaging him with other members of the fan base.
That's insane.
It's not, it doesn't compute.
What, is it a technicality because he's at home when he's doing those conversations?
But he just said that it's all the time. It's everywhere. And I understand he kept saying in the building, and knowing him, every word out of his mouth is chosen carefully.
Because he's home doing those interviews?
I guess so.
It doesn't matter?
I don't know, because I don't know if any of that stuff has anything to do with winning for the Jets. It has stuff to do with winning about stuff that he wants to say in his mind and what he feels in winning, you know, elsewhere. But I'm talking about winning football. And if he's saying if it has nothing to do with winning football, I don't want to hear about it, then he should hear what's coming out of his mouth. Because I'm putting every egg in his number 8 basket next year, man.
You should trade him. As a fan, you should want him gone.
Please, nah.
It's nothing but toxic, dude.
Okay. Except it's not. They just voted a most inspirational player. It's not toxic to his teammates. It's not. He's saying something is going on in that building, and again, he may have nothing to do with it, but if he's saying it has nothing to do with winning, hey, to a lot of fans, what you're saying elsewhere has nothing to do with winning. Football. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.